So the other day I was controlling on VATSIM and I had a VFR pilot that was on his way up towards the Asheville area near the Smoky Mountains, an area in the United States with pretty high and rapidly rising terrain with the mountains. And he called me and said, "Hey, Center, we have mountains in front of us. Can we climb to avoid them?" Obviously, this is quite concerning from a controller side, and it made me wonder why he thought that he had to stay at a particular altitude and couldn't climb above these mountains. And then it dawned on me the reason why. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's talk about what happened, why it happened, and what information you need to know in order to ensure that this doesn't happen to you. My name is William. Welcome to Cleared Approach. Hey everybody, welcome to the channel where we talk about flight simulation and air traffic control procedures. My name is William and I stream virtual air traffic control on the VATSIM network over on Twitch. You can find me down at the link below. Hit me up over there whenever I'm live. I would love to interact with you and help you along your next VATSIM flight and just get to know you in general. Come in and join us. It's a lot of fun. As always, what we're going to talk about today is for simulation purposes only and their procedures that apply in the United States. So let's first recap what happened. I was working in Atlanta Center at the time, and I was talking to a VFR flight that was going from the Atlanta Hartsfield Airport up to the Asheville Airport. That's located in North Carolina, right at the southern edge of the Smoky Mountains, and on both the east and west side, it is covered with some pretty high terrain. On the west side, closer towards Atlanta, immediately adjacent to the airport, peaks go up almost to 3,300 feet, and then about 10 miles to the west, 4,200, and even further out to the west as high as 6,400 feet. And this particular aircraft, most of his flight, he was staying at 3,500 feet. Of course, you can kind of see a problem when you're getting close to Asheville, and you see some peaks of the mountain ranges up to, again, I said it was 3,300 feet, and even higher terrain further to the west that was above his altitude. And he called me up, and he says, "Hey, Center, we need to climb in order to get above these mountain ranges." And I was trying to figure out why this particular individual needed, or at least thought they needed my approval to be able to climb above this terrain. And it took me a while. It baffled me as to why he was down there. And then why I inquired him about it, come to find out it was because of his Class Bravo clearance. His Class Bravo clearance to leave the Atlanta airport sounded something like this.
November 123 Alpha Bravo cleared out of the Atlanta Class Bravo airspace to the north, maintained VFR at or below 3,500, departure frequency 125.7, squawk 6247.
So did you catch what it was that would have enhanced some confusion for this particular pilot? Oh, by the way, this is not the first time this has happened. Of course, I'm making this video because I actually see this quite often, and that's why I wanted to discuss it today. Again, the problem they had was a misunderstanding of the Class Bravo clearance. So let's go ahead and break down that clearance, find out exactly what it means and what you need to do to make sure you adhere to that clearance and when you no longer need to adhere to that clearance. So because most people on the VATSIM network actually are kind of inverse from real world where they start with IFR, I'm going to assume a little bit that you're familiar with an IFR clearance. If you're not, we're still going to cover it briefly and cover the parts, but you may be familiar with the terminology of CRAFT, which stands for Clearance, Route, Altitude, Frequency, and Transponder. And a Class Bravo clearance is going to follow this as well. You have your clearance, cleared out of the Atlanta Class Bravo airspace. Route, not heavily specified because you're VFR, but it does say to the north. Altitude, in this case, maintain VFR at or below 3,500, the departure frequency 125.7, and lastly the transponder code 6247. Now what we're going to focus on here is the C for clearance and the A for altitude, which again we're cleared out of the Atlanta Class Bravo airspace and to maintain VFR at or below 3,500. This is where the confusion came in. So the question becomes is when do we no longer have to maintain an altitude below 3,500 feet? When are we allowed to climb higher? And the answer is in the clearance itself. The C for clearance specifies a clearance limit. Whenever you're being separated by air traffic control, your clearance will specify a clearance limit. It is the last point of which ATC is providing you with separation services. And in this case, cleared out of the Atlanta Class Bravo airspace. The Class Bravo airspace is your clearance limit. ATC in this case will provide you with aircraft separation services while you're in the confines of the Class Bravo airspace. So once you have exited the Class Bravo airspace, you have now passed that clearance limit and you're beyond the point of which air traffic control is providing you separation services, which therefore also cancels your altitude restriction to maintain VFR, in this case at or below 3,500, unless it is restated by ATC afterwards. Now, another common problem that I see as well is they will exit the Class Bravo airspace and then they think they're okay to climb, and they ended up climbing back into the Class Bravo airspace after they have already exited. Again, this requires a secondary clearance in order to enter. So let's go ahead and see exactly what this looks like on the chart. So what we pulled up here is the Atlanta Terminal Area Chart, also known as a TAC chart. This is going to be your best resource to use if flying VFR around the Atlanta area. You can also use a sectional. It will have the same information, but because it covers a wider area, the information will be scrunched and fit into a smaller box, making it a little bit more difficult to read. Now, it's a pretty common procedure at Atlanta for them to send VFR aircraft on a due north and due south course. That way they have the ability to exit the Class Bravo airspace in its most expeditious manner. So now, since we have our Class Bravo clearance to maintain VFR at or below 3,500, we can stay in that Class Bravo airspace if we were due north for 8 miles. After that, once you clear, you can begin your climb to a higher altitude, which most likely you'll want to do if you see the Class D airspaces up to the north for both Dobbins and Peachtree in order to climb above those and avoid talking to those towers in order to work through that Class Delta airspace. However, we do want to make sure we maintain underneath the 5, 6, and 7 foot shelves of the Class Bravo airspace until we reach the 30-mile mark, which we completely clear the Atlanta Class Bravo airspace and then can climb to an altitude of our discretion while we maintain inside the Class E. So it's as simple as that. I really hope that information helps you the next time you plan your next VFR flight out of a Class Bravo airspace on the VATSIM network. Again, my name is William. I stream air traffic control services on the VATSIM network over on Twitch. Hit up that link below. We talk about flight simulation, air traffic control procedures, and just have a ton of fun over there. It's great getting to know everybody in the community, and it's so much of an enjoyment. You can also hit me up on Twitter if you find any questions that you may have that were not answered in this video, or if you have any suggestions for other videos. You can also post your comments down in the section below, and I'll be more than happy to respond to you there as well. Lastly, if I'm not immediately available, I also want to plug my Discord, because there's a ton of community members over there that if I can't answer right away, they're more than happy to help as well. If you appreciate this information and you want to see more content like this to help you along your next VATSIM flight, do me a favor and support the channel. Give me a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe down below. That way you can see our next video. I really look forward to interacting with you on my next Twitch stream. Have a lot of fun over there. Thanks for watching. Cleared approach. Hey, Miles, let's get something right. This isn't Brett's crew. This is William's crew, all right? Brett is just lucky enough to be part of William's crew. I'm glad I could get that one out without I could finish that sentence without laughing. See, I'm just, Brett, what do you normally, you stream 5 or 6 nights out of the week, Brett? I guess like 5.5, depending on the week. Sometimes you're 5, sometimes you're 6. You're probably more on the 6 time. So I'm just 6 times better than what Brett is, so that's why I only come on once a week, where he comes on 6 times a week. Is that how that works? Miles says, here we go. I gotta bring back the beat up jokes. I think you're gonna have to find. I gotta have to start. Brett. See, the reason why Brett uses this thug life so much often is he's still so accustomed to using black and white televisions, because that's all he grew up with through the first 50 years of his life, that he just wants to continue to see that. I came up with that one on the spot. That was not pre-planned either. Delta 748 Heavy, runway 26 right, clear to land.
Yes, sorry, clear to land, Delta 748 Heavy.
There you go, Brett. Dave's got you covered. Delta 59, radar contact over Jedi, Atlanta, altimeters 3004. Continue to descend via the arrival, and advise when you have the ATIS, please.